Have you ever noticed how some traditions, things we've done forever, still spark these really surprising questions?
Absolutely. Things that feel completely settled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, we're going to dive into one of those. It touches on, well, one of the most central practices in Christianity, communion, the Eucharist.
Right.
And our deep dive today comes from this really compelling dialogue we found. It's from a PDF called gourmeteucharist.pdf. And it just zeroes in on this one specific kind of provocative question about this ancient ritual.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And our mission here really is to unpack the arguments, the back and forth that's presented in this source.
Okay.
We want to shed some light on why this specific part of the ritual is even debated.
Yeah, why is it questioned?
Exactly. And maybe what that debate tells us about, tradition, interpretation, and how closely people stick to the original instructions. It digs into symbolism, practicality, fidelity, really.
Okay, so let's get into it. The core thing the source points out right away is something you might have even noticed yourself. In a lot of Christian traditions, when people receive communion, they just get the bread or, the wafer.
Right, just the host.
Just the host, the wine, that other part, often not for the congregation.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, or at least the source makes you think, was it always like this? What happened to the wine?
The missing element.
Yeah. And one character in this dialogue, Cormac, he really pushes it. He sort of jokes with the other guy, Liam, asking something like, are you outsourcing your salvation now?
Huh. Yeah, that sets the tone.
It really does. That kind of witty, questioning style right from the start.
And the source jumps right into the explanations for why it's often just the bread. Liam, who's kind of defending the practice as it is,
right.
He brings up this idea first of symbolic full communion.
Symbolic full communion. Okay, what's that mean?
Well, the argument is that the whole thing is symbolic, right? And receiving just the host, the bread, is still considered full communion.
Oh,
because the priest drinks the wine, supposedly on behalf of everyone. It's like a representative action for the whole community.
Okay, so the priest takes it for all.
That's the idea presented. But beyond the symbolic, Liam also points to, very practical reason.
Out of what? Logistics?
Exactly. He mentions logistical issues. Things like hygiene concerns, lots of people sharing one cup,
right.
Chalice.
I can see that, especially with big crowds.
Right. And also just the time it takes. Offering wine to every single person in a large service, it could take a very long time.
Sure. Practical constraints.
And then there's a big theological point. This is pretty crucial.
Okay.
The church teaching, as mentioned in the source, is that the full presence, so the complete spiritual essence of what the ritual represents, is believed to be fully there in either the bread or the wine.
Oh, interesting. Either in.
Yes, what theologians call the species. So from that perspective, you don't strictly need both to get the complete spiritual experience.
Okay, I get the practical points, definitely. And that theological idea of full presence in either one, it does seem like a tidy explanation.
It does provide a rationale, yes.
But this is where the source really pushes back, isn't it? Cormac comes in with a really strong counter-argument.
He certainly does.
He doesn't really soften the blow. He quotes directly from the Last Supper account, Christ's words, take, eat, and drink, all of you.
The direct instruction.
And it's that last part, all of you, that seems really emphasized in the source's argument.
Yes. Not just drink, but drink all of you.
So how does the source critique that full presence in either species idea? You mentioned Cormac calls it a workaround.
Yeah, exactly, a workaround, which implies it's maybe not the idea, or perhaps a later justification.
Right.
He even compares it to reading only the odd-numbered pages of the Gospels and saying, you still get the gist.
Ouch. That's pretty pointed. What's the deeper message there, that you're missing something essential?
That's exactly it. It suggests, maybe you get part of the story, but you're fundamentally missing half the picture. It implies a deliberate leaving out, not just like a minor change.
Wow.
And to really hammer this point home about the incompleteness, the source uses some really vivid analogies. Some are quite sarcastic, actually.
Like what?
Well, there's the quip about worrying you might catch a cold from the blood of Christ.
My goodness. That definitely frames the hygiene concern in a provocative light.
It does. Puts practicality against perceived divine command.
Yeah.
Then there's another comparison.
Yes.
Imagine a Jewish Seder, a deeply communal meal, but only the rabbi gets the wine.
Okay. That really highlights the communal aspect being potentially lost, doesn't it? If everyone else is left out of a key part.
Precisely. It emphasizes the shared nature of the original event And maybe the most evocative image
Oh.
is this picture of the world's most solemn cosmic supper reduced to dry crackers and the faint hope that Father O'Reilly's sip covers the rest of us.
Wow. Dry crackers. That really paints a picture of something diminished.
It definitely conveys Cormac's view that the current practice, in some places, falls far short of the original intent.
So these analogies, they all seem to point towards this idea the source brings up of a politely edited instruction from Christ.
Yeah, that phrase really sticks, doesn't it? Politely edited, like someone decided the original was a bit inconvenient.
Right, smooth the edges a bit. And that image of Christ returning and asking, so, did the wine shipment get delayed?
Ah. Yeah, that one's memorable. It's so direct.
It cuts right to the chase, this idea of a missing piece. What do you think the source is implying about how traditions should evolve versus how they maybe have?
Well, that really gets to the core of it, the stakes involved. The source states the Mass is meant to be a representation of the Last Supper.
Making it present again, right? Not just remembering it.
Exactly, a reenactment in a sense. But then Cormac asks, if you leave out a key part, how authentic is that reenactment? And the analogy used there is really powerful. It's like reenacting the signing of the Declaration of Independence and forgetting the cool.
Okay, that's stark. Forgetting the very instrument used. So leaving out the wine isn't just a minor detail in this view.
According to this argument, no. It fundamentally changes the nature of the act. It shifts it from a full representation to something else.
Something else like what? A simulation.
That's exactly the word the source uses. It poses the question, is the church truly reenacting this central mystery or just simulating it?
Simulating versus reenacting, that's a big difference.
It is. And Cormac argues that Christ gave instructions, not wine suggestions. He challenges the idea that practical difficulties should override a direct command, saying maybe we need to have a little courage and actually do the thing we've been told to do.
Instead of just simulating it.
Right. Not just go through the motions that resemble it.
But, Liam does make that point in the dialogue. The source acknowledges it.
Yeah.
It's not easy to change a long-standing tradition. That's true for any large institution, surely.
Oh, absolutely. Change is hard, especially with centuries of practice. The source definitely includes that perspective.
But then Cormac has that final, really striking retort, doesn't he? About rising from the dead.
Ah, yes. That's the mic drop moment, as you say.
It really is.
Yeah.
How does putting the difficulty of, say, distributing wine next to the miracle of the resurrection, what effect does that have?
It's clearly meant to put things in perspective, a very dramatic perspective.
Yeah.
It basically frames the practical hurdles, hygiene, time, logistics as, well, trivial compared to the foundational event itself, the resurrection.
Implying that if that was possible, surely managing a chalice shouldn't be the insurmountable obstacle.
Exactly. It frames omitting the wine not just as a practical decision, but potentially as a failure of maybe nerve or commitment. It really forces you to weigh the difficulty of the ritual change against the perceived importance of the original command.
So wrapping this up, what does this whole debate, as laid out in the source, mean for us, for you listening? It feels like this deep dive really brings out a core tension.
It absolutely does.
This balance between, practical needs, how traditions naturally shift over time, and then this fundamental question of staying true to what are believed to be the original divine instructions.
Yeah, that's the heart of it. This specific debate over the bread and wine, it really serves as a window, doesn't it? A window into how religious practices evolve.
How interpretations get formed.
Exactly. And that constant push and pull between sticking with tradition and going back to what seems like the original blueprint.
So it's not just about communion, really.
Not at all. What this deep dive shows, I think, is that pretty much any long-standing tradition has this tension built into it, adapting versus preserving.
The practical versus the perceived ideal.
Right. And this debate is just one example of how faiths, how communities wrestle with that, how they try to navigate change while holding on to what they see as their core.
Okay, so as we finish, maybe here's a final thought for you, a listener, to sort of mull over. If a core religious ritual is really about remembering and representing something foundational, what does it actually mean if parts of that original event get left out or changed over the centuries?
Yeah, what are the implications?
And maybe more personally, how do we, just as individuals trying to understand things, figure out the difference between a necessary adaptation, something that helps the tradition live,
right,
and a change that might actually alter the fundamental meaning, especially when those changes often come with very sensible, very practical justifications? Where's that line?